send a picture of the person plus a message you want to send across on the WhatsApp line, and we will share it to the rest of the world for them to know. Once again, you're welcome to Healthy Morning live on Hstv. William Diego Parker Bainey alongside Stephanie Georgina, and I'm here to serve you for another interesting day. Stay with us till we touch down. The show is brought to you by Can Casey Prudential Life Insurance. Always listening, always. There's more right here on the stage. Stay with us.
You're welcome back from that short breather. You're still watching Healthy Morning live here on Hstv. Just gone down was Precious Azuma giving us details in the world of sports. It's now time for Stay Alive with me, Stephanie Ejojina Manyan. And today I'm going to have a phone-in conversation about fiber foods. And I'm going to have this conversation with a dietitian. He is Benjamin Ababio on the phone. Good morning, Ben. And thank you so much for making time and joining us.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Ben, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, dear. Good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Right. Hope you are doing good.
By God's grace, I'm doing well.
Yes, we want to talk about fiber foods, but I first of all want to find out from you what deficiency diseases are linked to a low fiber food.
If I got you right, you are asking which deficiency diseases are linked with dietary fiber, right?
Right.
Hello?
Yes, that's exactly what I asked.
Sorry, I'm not getting it.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's much better now.
Yes, I want to find out from you what deficiency diseases are linked to a low fiber diet.
Okay, so those who actually have deficiencies with dietary fiber are those who would normally have issues with maybe their sugars or maybe their cholesterol, or maybe if you want to look at the sodium content in their blood. Okay. There are several instances where you would say that somebody has a low fiber content, especially in their foods, because we are looking at the benefits that they are likely to get. So for someone who, say, has diabetes, obviously we know that diabetes is a condition that is associated with the metabolism of sugars.
Right.
So for someone who is very low on dietary fiber, then you realize that their risks of having diabetes, for instance, is high. For those who have heart diseases, like cholesterol or dyslipidemia, as we usually call it in the hospital setting, those people would also have a high requirement for dietary fiber because, well, the effect that they will get from it is what is actually going to reduce the amount of cholesterol that they are going to have. Aside that, people with maybe constipation or irritable bowel syndrome, okay, these are people who are not able to eat themselves so well. So such people also would require significant amounts of dietary fiber in their diet. For those people who don't usually consume dietary fiber foods, you can say for a fact that they are exposing themselves to such a condition as constipation.
Right.
So there are quite a number of conditions that we can look at. But popular amongst them is the constipation, the irritable bowel syndrome, the non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, stroke, among others.
Right. And with these health conditions you have mentioned, are the signs, easy to show off, or they stay with you for quite some time?
Please come again.
With the health conditions you mentioned,
yes,
the signs and symptoms as regards to them, are they...
Hello?
Hear me?
Yes, it's much better now.
Right. With the health conditions you mentioned, the deficiency diseases,
yes,
easy for you to tell, or they kind of stay with you for quite some time?
Easy to tell.
Yes.
Or they stay with you for quite some time.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, please. That's what I asked.
Okay. So these conditions that I have mentioned earlier, all right, are conditions that are easily noticeable through their symptoms. Okay, definitely if somebody has, say, constipation, these are conditions that are actually managed. Okay, some of them are also curable. But if somebody has something like, say, constipation, definitely you realize that the person has difficulty eating on themselves. Okay, if somebody has, say, diabetes, definitely the diagnostic tests, like maybe doing the fasting blood sugar test or the random blood sugar test, or say the glucose tolerance test, all these things are going to help you to determine the severity of the condition. People with colon cancers, for instance, have to go through some form of therapy for us to ascertain how severe the condition actually is. Okay, the condition mentioned here definitely can be detected using all those to investigate. Apart from that, there are certain noticeable symptoms that definitely will help you to also accentuate the likelihood of the condition being present in a person.
Okay. So generally, how are fiber diets of importance to our body systems?
Oh, they are very, very huge importance to our body. Let me quickly take you through some of the benefits.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Remember earlier as I was talking, I mentioned constipation as being one of the
deficiencies,
commonest conditions that are associated with low dietary fiber.
Yes.
Well, the thing with a high dietary fiber or high fiber diet is that it actually normalizes bowel movements. Okay. So what that means is that when you consume fiber, which is actually not digestible, it's the non-digestible portion of food. Okay, so when it goes into the system, what it actually does is it forms the bulk of your stool. Okay, and so it enables you to ease on yourself easily, better than someone who doesn't really take dietary fiber. Apart from that, it helps with bowel health. Okay, in that people who are susceptible to having maybe colorectal cancers, you name it, are people that are likely to have some improvement in their conditions if they are taking the high fiber diet. Apart from that, those who have high cholesterol levels, okay, soluble fiber found in, say, beans or oats are very good in lowering the total blood cholesterol levels that are in such individuals. Apart from that, people with diabetes also particularly have some benefits coming from soluble fiber, because then when it goes into the blood, it reduces the amount of sugar that is being absorbed, okay? And that helps in reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes. Apart from that, those who are trying to lose weight, remember that these high fiber foods tend to be very filling, okay? So you eat less and you feel very satisfied over a long period of time. All right. Usually, it is these calories that actually contribute to weight gain. So you will eat a significant amount of the food, yet receive a very little amount of energy from it. Okay. And then there is also this saying that when you eat a lot of dietary fiber, you will live longer, and that is very true, because if it's going to reduce every risk of any non-communicable disease that has already been mentioned, then of course your chances at survival is higher. We wouldn't be eating these dietary fiber foods. So that is my take.
Right. Thank you very much, Ben. And with the nutrients you have mentioned, or how important it is to our bodies, would you advise that we then take fiber foods every single day?
Yes, I would advise that dietary fiber is eaten every single day.
Wow.
Breakfast, lunch, supper.
So we can do that on breakfast, on supper as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's talk about the foods that are rich in fiber. Run us through some of them, please.
The foods that are rich in fiber?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. The foods that are rich in fiber.
Okay.
Can you run us through some of them?
Let's look at whole grain products, for instance.
Okay.
All right. We can look at the nuts. We can look at seeds. We can look at the cereals and the grains. So typically in the mornings, if you can have, say, whole grain oats, it's a very good option. If you can have your the normal corn porridge that we usually call poponsu in our local dialect. It is very rich in fiber. Even the Winnie mix or the Tom Brown is also very rich in dietary fiber. Aside that, look at all these other local foods like banku, kenke, yam, even our vegetables, carrots, cucumbers. These are all very rich in dietary fiber. Granules are very good. You will find all these ingredients in our foods and our meal preparations with regards to breakfast, with regards to lunch, with regards to supper. All these ingredients that I've mentioned are things that are commonly found in our preparations. So it isn't something that is difficult to achieve. It is not far-fetched. I mean, if you want to have dietary fiber, there is no excuse. Go to the market right now, shop for all these examples that I have stated, and you will have your dietary fiber readily available to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben. And lastly, how about fruits that are rich in fiber?
How about
fruits that are rich in fiber?
Yes, I forgot to mention fruits.
Okay.
So apples, bananas, oranges, all the common fruits that we have on our local market are basically rich in dietary fiber. You see, the bran that we usually find around fruits and nuts are what actually contributes largely to dietary fiber. So to processing these foods, then you would in a way be affecting how much dietary fiber you are getting from. So my advice is that have these foods readily available to you, but do well not to process them for a very long period of time. Those ones that are already processed in cans and tins and bottles, you name it, have very little amount of fiber. generally the golden rule is to have all these foods provided naturally in their natural state, so that if you have to cook them, why not? You can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Processing should be reduced as much as possible.
Okay. Right. Ben, before I take leave of you, as regards to the losing of the belly fat or the general body weight, which fiber food in particular would you recommend?
So in terms of general body weight loss, okay, what I would usually recommend, usually for breakfast, are these vegetable salads. Vegetable salads prepared in their natural form. I mean, you don't have to add any processed foods to them. Those creams and dressings are not really necessary, because oftentimes these things have added sugars and fats. So you can just focus more on the vegetables, the roughage, in their natural form. Do well to clean them properly. Maybe you can steam for a few minutes and use them, toss them into your breakfast meal. Aside that, in the afternoons, normally the golden rule is to focus more on how much you are eating. But because we know that dietary fiber is filling, and that you can have just very little of it and still feel full. Food that you can generally take, say, in the mornings, apart from the vegetables, that I've already mentioned. You can even have a smoothie, a smoothie with maybe 2 or 3 thin slices of wheat bread, whole wheat bread, in the afternoons, you can have maybe brown rice or local rice, not the ones that are processed, the ones that have the fiber or the chaff intact. That is a very good option for you. You can have beans in your rice as being one of the methods or the procedures for adding extra dietary fiber to whatever you are eating. Beans is a very good and a rich source of dietary fiber. Aside that, even the yam that we eat, well, there are quantities that are usually recommended for different ages. So when you come, definitely I'm going to measure how much you are going to eat, and that is not going to affect your weight in any way. Aside that, whatever stew that has to go, or gravy that has to go with whatever you are preparing, has to have quite a significant amount of vegetables. Sorry for the crying in the background.
That's fine, Ben.
A lot of vegetables in your stews, your gravies, even your soups. Because these are the things that are going to introduce or incorporate dietary fiber into your food. And that is how you will be able to lose weight if you want to, or manage the weight that you've already lost.
We're taking the vegetable salads and all of that. Can we still go ahead and rinse or clean them with our vinegar?
Yes, you can soften a little bit of vinegar whilst you are cleaning your vegetables. There was a time that I was doing some research, and I came across a lot of people are susceptible to using salt, in washing their vegetables. But you see, because of the sodium content in salt, the general risk here is that you are likely to increase the amount of sodium, which will expose you to conditions like, say, high blood pressure. So what I usually recommend is that if you want to wash your foods very well, start off, you can either use the vinegar, or you can toss in just a drop of liquid soap into your water and wash thoroughly and rinse several times.
Liquid soap?
These are 2 of the most effective methods that you can use in washing your vegetables. It's good, but using too much of it can expose you to risks such as high blood pressure. So that is how to.
Did you mention liquid soap earlier?
Pardon?
Did you mention liquid soap?
Yes.
How?
Yes, just a little, just a drop of liquid soap in water. Then you rinse several times before you use. Definitely, for those of us who are having issues with maybe the crust, the texture of the vegetable, we maybe because of poor dentition, we are not able to chew properly. What I would recommend is you can steam the vegetable for a few minutes, say a minute or 2, then it becomes a bit softer for you to ingest or consume. These are other methods that you can also look at. Steaming or cooking is one other method of not only taking the soil and vegetables off, but also to kill some bacteria in the vegetable.
Thank you very much, Ben, for making time and joining us on this conversation. We are so grateful to you. So this conversation with a dietitian, he is Mr. Benjamin. We discussed fiber foods, so you can have that in the foods, and then you can also have talk of the oranges, the apples, and the bananas as well. Before I take leave of you, I want to recommend Signature Spa to you. You can locate them inside North Legon, directly opposite the Wisconsin University, or you can call or WhatsApp them to book an appointment via the number 0593 290 The numbers again, 0593 290 Monday to Saturday, they are available to give you a queenly or a kingly treat. So we're going to take a detour now, and then when we come back, William Diego Parker Bainey will be on with a focus.
Would you like to own a home, start a business, provide seed money, or a good education for your children? The Pro Wealth Plan answers all of life's questions. This is Ekwa 9. She wants to be an engineer in future. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, plan to give her the best education but don't want to be unnecessarily burdened when she's ready for university in 10 years. Do you know how much it will cost Ekwa to go to a local private university or university abroad in the next 10 years? Ekwa's parents have signed up to a Pro Wealth Plan. They pay affordable monthly premiums that ensures they are able to fund Ekwa's university fees and living expenses. When she's ready for university, Prudential will pay the maturity benefit and her parents can enjoy free insurance cover for an additional 5 years. In the unfortunate event that her parents pass away, Prudential will pay over 200% of the 100% immediately, 10% annually to keep Ekwa in her current school, and 100% at maturity for her chosen university. This means that Prudential Life has guaranteed Ekwa's education regardless of life's uncertainties. The Pro Wealth Plan also covers a spouse or partner up to the same sum assured. With over 26 million customers, 24,000 employees globally, and over 170 years experience, you and your family can have peace of mind knowing that you are in safe hands. Whatever your financial goals are, the Pro Wealth Plan has the answers to life's questions. Call us today and let Prudential secure your future.
Show me your love. Zaga boom 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 za.
Chakay.
Yeah yeah yeah. I'm shaking me. Zaga boom 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 za.
Chakay.
Yeah.
Yakusha.
Zaga boom 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 za. Yeah yeah yeah. I'm shaking me. Zaga boom 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 za. Yeah.
Chakay.
Wama kume muno. Uko nimeni tatu. Abe. Uko.
Oi! I like it.
Baba minyobia, iti mebe yende aya na kenyitina. Muso mene yende baba mijibo kwa jinji. Ajinjiya mijibo kwa jini basi. Weyo, baba minyobia. Weyo, baba misinjai. Sameke wonza, na makume maya mendedeo. Jana machenuya. Saba,
Yakusha. 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 Yakusha.
Boso me say,
Fami kochi.
Gojina,
Come and say, Mute.
Baba.
Chame kwame, mumfansa, mumaye sane, muhu donka, na maya nane, maya nane, simbasta, chame kwame, mumfansa, mumaye sane, muhu donka, na maya nane, uniwa na makome tu, ubeni na makoma de.
And those are the days that we used to have some cracking, and back in the day, senior high school, when you go to entertainment, these are the songs that we use in doing our own thing there, Masasa. Anyway, he said, my uncle crash, so yeah, I don't do that anymore. Slim Buster with a Chawi Kwame, they call that one Baba, especially dedicated to my daughter Baba. Yeah, it's for you, okay, from daddy to you. It's time for us to have a conversation again. This time around, our guest is going to be on phone with us. I'm talking about the man Emmanuel Gadasu of the IIPGH. He happens to be also a strong fool there. He's a data protection officer in Ghana, an information security professional. Taking advantage of the internet, the good and the bad. Since the inception of somewhere 2010, everybody seems to be on it, except even the older folks. Sometimes you have your phone and your mother will be WhatsApping you or sending you friend requests on Facebook. You say, Nakukra is so bad, that kind of thing. You want to have your privacy back. Everybody else, both the young and the older, all want to be there because it's the future. We are in the digital realm now. Talk about digitalization. Our vice president is championing that seriously. So yeah, there are some advantages and some negatives as well. So to help us discuss that quick conversation, I'm going to have Emmanuel Gadasu on the line real quick to have that discussion. Good morning to you, Mr. Emmanuel Gadasu.
Yeah, good morning, Diego, and good morning to our viewers and listeners as well.
All right, thank you for joining us this morning. So you had a topic. We're taking advantage of the internet. How do you take advantage of the internet?
Well, Diego, we are in a global world, and digitization has almost every facet of operation. And the internet offers us the advantage that connect with people, with our colleagues, families, our partners across the world. It is therefore important that we take the advantage that the internet offers us. With the internet, we are able to work from home, which has greatly reduced the spread and the impact of COVID-19 across Africa and the entire world. It has also created a limitless barrier to doing activities or our jobs across the world. So the internet has a great offer for each and every individual across the world, provided you know what you want, where it is located, and how you can find it on the internet.
Okay.
So it is very, very important.
All right. So what are some of the advantages, if you may, take us through some few?
Okay. One, the internet helps us to work remotely. By remotely, so you working from home, you can sit in the comfort of your home, and then you can work.
Yeah, thanks to COVID recently, we learned that the hard way. I said thanks to COVID recently, we learned the hard way by learning, working from home. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many of us never thought our jobs we could do them from home, but by virtue of the internet, we are able to do so, even though this technology has existed quite a long time before the advent of COVID-19. So number one, we are able to work from home. All right. It also offers a great deal of collaboration between entities. So, for example, a company in Ghana would have a partner outside Africa, let's say in the EU, or precisely, let's say in Estonia. You are able to partner with them and work effectively. By virtue of the internet, you are able to conduct meetings as if you are with these individuals. The internet has led to a great deal of research and very powerful outcome that is influencing and changing. So it gives us the opportunity to have access to diverse knowledge across the world. Therefore, in the previous years, prior to the internet, you would have to go to a library before you can get access to research material, academic records, to be able to address yourself and learn. But with the internet, everything is digitized, everything is on the internet. You and I can access anytime. The internet also offers to specifically the area of academia the same advantage. So, for example, someone in Harvard University, okay, where we regard as one of the highest institutions of academic excellence in the world, so somebody in Ghana here, by virtue of the internet, for example, my school, which is the University of Cape Coast, will also have access to the same resource as a Harvard University student. So there's no barrier with regards to academic resources and knowledge, but it is greatly available. Then another opportunity that the internet offers is self-development. There are so many professionals who have created platforms for individuals to learn, to follow procedures, to upgrade themselves to the highest level. So right now, I could go on the internet, whatever I don't know of, I could do a research on it and have the needed learning. I could follow industry experts and professionals, have access to their materials, their videos, their training sessions, and self-learn to develop myself. One of the advantages also that the internet offers is that it is not time-bound. Unlike the traditional classrooms or trainings where you would have to be physically present on a particular day at a particular time, the internet has the storage of this knowledge permanently stored, where individuals at their own free time of convenience are this information to their benefit. So, midnight, some of the daytime, morning, any time that is convenient for the internet. So therefore, these are some of the few very great advantages that the internet offers to you and I and everybody else.
Quite interesting enumeration you made there with respect to the things that we're taking advantage of. But then again, and as much as it's quite advantageous, there are also the downside of it. The flip side also brings it a lot of issues. What are some of these, and how can we address that?
Yes, the internet is a two-edged sword. It can be advantageous depending on how you want to use it or how you access it. Likewise, people also using it for very dubious, scandalous, and criminal activities. So, in fact, the internet is just like the normal platform you and I have in our physical space. We have very good people in society and we have very bad people in society. The same information or a tool could be used by one person for a very good purpose. That same tool can also be used by another for a very dubious purpose. So we also have the same thing happening in our physical world on the internet. So for example, somebody is at home and is able, instead of physically going to break into somebody's room to steal from that individual, somebody is online somewhere in any part of the world, be on a desert somewhere with internet access, is able to log onto somebody's account, that is financial account or bank account, and withdraw money. So that is one of the most prevalent kind of crime on the internet for financial gain, where people are able to scam people, steal from people's accounts by virtue of the internet. Without the internet, how many people can go rob a bank? And go to the bank and withdraw people's money?
Yeah.
It is, but the level at it is on the internet is quite very high compared to the physical ones that could have been happening.
Okay.
So that is number one of the advantages of the internet. Now, our kids are exposed to so many things. They are online. The parent has secured probably a tablet for the world to learn from. However, there are criminals on the internet who may be chatting or dealing with your child unaware to the parents. So we have pedophiles on the internet, psychopaths on the internet, who engages children on the side, chatting them, creating a lot of obscene materials, good material, pornography, directing them to do things. For example, there have been instances where people have guided kids to commit suicide by virtue of the internet. Other than that, where would these individuals have gotten access to your ward or your child who is at home? And because of the internet, they are able to do so. By virtue of the internet, people are able to scam people into love relationships. You don't know the individual. You see pictures, you see videos.
Yeah.
You have never physically met this individual before. But you know, we all have emotions, and once emotions are not properly guarded, it can lead to so many other issues.
Yeah.
People are already frustrated in so many relationships, but here lies the case by virtue of the internet. Online, who is probably coming from the US, married to you, you have done all preparations only for this thing or a scam. So we have a lot of.
Alternatively, on the flip side of that point also, people have created some very beautiful apps that people are falling in love over there. Even talk about Facebook, for instance, and other apps that people link up, then they find love. They even get out of that and even meet in person and become partners for the rest of their lives.
Yes, Diego, the truth is that some of these things have worked out perfectly. It has led to very wonderful marriages.
Yeah.
And a higher percentage of them lead to more frustration, lead to more scam, because either spouse are tempted to send money, donate cash, and spend all their time with these individuals only to realize these are scams.
Yeah.
So even this same Facebook, it's used for the good, it's used for the bad. These apps, okay, which are very rampant. I just don't want to mention any for people to go there, but there are a lot of apps where you can go there, have relationships.
Yeah.
People are able to build relationships from these apps. Likewise, people are also able to take from this same point of view.
Okay.
So it's a two-way affair.
Okay.
Depending on the angle you are looking at it from,
Okay.
and how the individual has already positioned him or herself to this particular.
All right, Mr. Garasu, we're talking about currently in the world, we're going 5G. The Chinese, the European countries are looking at 5G. The last I checked here in Ghana, we are still at 4G. And even the 4G, we are not even up to the 4G, around 3.28 or something like that, and means the internet service is not too good. Just yesterday, we did a story that has to do about data purchase in Africa, and we are told that amongst the cheapest, we are not nowhere there. It's becoming quite difficult, even accessing internet services here in Ghana. How do we move away and take advantage of this, despite the fact that there are limitations in terms of getting proper internet for everything else that we're talking about, the advantages that we're talking about here?
Okay. Well, comparatively across Africa, Ghana is not the most affordable, but it is among the affordable ones in terms of internet. But for penetration, I don't have that data now to be able to speak to in terms of the coverage. However, regardless of how we look at it, things are increasing and the infrastructure to support internet is also very high. However, I think there are ways in which governments and other institutions can make these things quite affordable for us. For example, across most of our educational institutions, data is free, access to internet is free to students. You go to the airport, you go to hotels and other places. However, if you are outside these areas, then one needs to be very careful because internet can be expensive at times. However, it also depends on what the individual is doing with the data. Most people go downloading videos, watching videos online, and these are high consuming activity on the internet. If you are reading, for example, a text, you are working with it, connecting and working with it, it's relatively fine. It doesn't consume so much data. But once you are into downloading videos, for example, Facebook videos, YouTube, TikTok, which is what most people, that's what it will lead to a very heavy consumption.
But we all have our choices and likes and dislikes. Maybe I want to go there, maybe do a course from Coursera or something like that, and maybe learn a thing or two. But then again, somebody wants to enjoy some TikTok and de-stress. So do you blame them for wanting to download videos?
No, we wouldn't. Nobody can be forced for their choices that they make. However, these are the pointers to what can cause you to use internet data at a very high level. However, for example, for those people who are mostly on the YouTube, YouTube, for example, has got different categories of quality of the video that you want. The lower the quality, the less consumption it is. But the higher the quality, the more consumption comes. So one needs to know how to adapt these kind of controls within YouTube to be able to have the best. So that is to minimize your data consumption. Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. So that said, looks like a lot of people are also making money out of these internet services that we're talking about. So for instance, the YouTube that we're even talking about right now, people are becoming YouTubers, TikTokers, people are becoming all and gurus, now making a lot of money there. How do we make the negatives?
Yes, so everybody needs to, you can make one thing, everybody must know that you can make money from the internet regardless of the activity you involve in. You have to know how to monetize it. One of the things that could easily make somebody make money from the internet is followership, the number of people that you have. For example, if you have a followership of about 1 million people following you on the internet, organizations look specifically for such individuals to associate their product with.
Yeah.
Because if you have 1 million followers and you post something about a particular brand, there's a likelihood that you get about 1/3 of that number to actually check on your product, have a conversation about it, take a second look at it, or have it imprinted in their mind. So if you are able to develop, that will cause people to be following advantage. At a point, you don't even look for brands themselves chasing you because you have the quality, you have the numbers. It's a matter of numbers that we are talking about when it comes to making money on the internet. So if your content is rich and people are always following you, coming in for more, then you are likely to monetize this. Then also another way is when you are able to advertise on your platform. For example, if you have your page you could ask Google to put their advert there. And once this advert are put there, Google pays you for the number of people that visit. So that also boils down to followership. So if you have more people visiting your space, your page, then you are able to do it. You know, recently, people have started monetizing their WhatsApp status.
WhatsApp status?
If you have a lot of contacts, they put it on their status and these individuals look at it. So people are
really. Please let's stay on that one a little bit more. Did you say WhatsApp status? You just load something and it gets money for it?
So, for example, if you have about 5,000 people,
okay,
on your WhatsApp platform or on your WhatsApp contact, and you put something on your status,
okay,
at least you will get about 1/3 of that 5,000
viewing it,
looking at it.
Yeah.
And that is a form of advertisement. Is all about making your product
visible
to people. So once you are able to do it, when you know you have the numbers, you can contact organizations, or at times organizations contact you for you to display these things on your status for people to see.
Okay.
You just take a status and show to them the number of people that have viewed, and you are paid accordingly. So this is also done. So that is also another very easy way of making money using the internet.
My time is almost up, but I need to ask one last question before we go. How do we overcome the challenges and the negativities that comes with the internet?
All right.
Would there be a time that will be like safe from all the negatives and the attacks and then the thievery and all those things? Would there be a time like that ever?
Well, your question is akin to you asking that would there ever be a time in the world where there will be no crime? It's the same life we live in the ordinary. That is what we are transferred to the internet. So the internet is just a platform of expressing our individual in reality, physically, onto the cyberspace. After until the day criminal activities, bad things will stop in the world, then it's good to have a routine, stopping on the internet. So that one, no, it is rather even increasing because people are getting matter. And remember, people do the bad things to also make money.
Yeah, obviously.
It's a matter of survival. So whatever they will do to survive in the physical world, they bring this thing to also survive in the on the cyberspace. Some people are just ordinary, whatever you put in, they are beyond repair.
Beyond repair. Okay, all right. Okay, before I go there, I saw some flyer of yours. Between 5 and 7 p.m. you have an online thing that you're doing, teaching about the Cybersecurity Act 2020. What is it about? You want to share a bit of it before we go?
Oh yes. So today, IIPTH, we are looking at the Cybersecurity Act 2020 and what individuals and professionals should understand. It is a law that is binding on every citizen of Ghana, and you need to understand what your requirements are, what you are supposed to do. This came as a result of the recent happening in an individual shared somebody's information, and that could lead to the imprisonment of about a maximum of 25 years. But I bet you, to the best of my knowledge, this individual has not even have idea that sharing those information would culminate to a prison term up to 25 years. Recently, which BBC and most major media platforms across the world announced, is the sentencing of a 14-year-old to a full referral to 14 years imprisonment for sharing nude pictures of another person without the person's consent. So these are some of the issues that we want to address today, so that we expose ourselves to the implications of our actions on the internet. Just like a normal life, you can't do anything that you want. You can't also, the fact that we don't see you or you are not easily accessible on the internet does not mean you can do anything and go for it. The law will definitely catch up with you. And the cyber security addresses these issues, and we want to have a look at it 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. today.
Okay. All right. Awesome. We wish you all the best for the team at IIPGA. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.
All right. Thank Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay. So that was Mr. Emmanuel Gadasu, Data Protection Officer of the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana and Information Security Professional. He joined us to have a conversation on taking advantage of the internet, the good and the bad aspect of it. And relatively, as much as there's a good side of it, there's also the much of the negatives also there. But as he said, it's incumbent upon you how you decide to use it and how to protect yourself also. Talking about data protection, I think he once joined us in the studio to have a conversation about data protection and how to protect your data so that it wouldn't be used for scamming and phishing and all those that comes with it. All right, so stay safe. And as much as internet is here to help us do the best that we can and facilitate things, he also has the other side of it that may not help you. So yeah, that was a conversation.
I think I should start looking at, posting something on my WhatsApp status and making money out of it.
Yeah.
It never get to me like.
So you should have a number of people that's on your phone,
about 5,000
or contacts. So you should have a lot of contacts on your phone. So
Contacts
nowadays I don't know. The last time I checked, some of the phones can't even take more than 2,000 names.
Yeah, some can.
So you are limited by that. But if you can take 2,000 and you can have, so usually when you are done by the day, you can go and check the number of people who have viewed your status. So if you are getting good views, maybe you can bounce it off some company and then tell them that, oh Charlie, I'm available. Some people have actually also turned off theirs that even when they view, you can see.
The table you're shaking.
It's like yours, saying. This one is blue table with a glass. So. You don't mind me shaking this one, right? Okay. They don't want people to see because of what they are posting. So yeah, they will take that thing off so that when they post things, some particular person or persons will see.
They wouldn't also know when we view theirs. When you take your receipt off.
You also know.
They know.
You know. They also know when you do that.
They wouldn't also know I've viewed. So it's not one sided.
Oh, okay.
On the flip side, they wouldn't also know.
You yate.
There's no bad intent.
Yeah. We know that. If you don't have any bad intent, why are you hiding it? That's the question. Anyways, so that's how come we'll wrap up for today, Thursday edition of Healthy Morning. It's been great. Though our guests couldn't make up way to the studio, but we still managed to have with them. We appreciate you all for Benjamin Edu and then Emmanuel Gadasu for joining us on the phones. All right. We're done.
Tomorrow is Friday.
Yeah. I should be excited about it.
Show me your love.
Zaga boom 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 za. Yeah. I'm shaking me. Zaga boom 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 za. Yeah.
Yakusha.
Zaga boom 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 za. Yeah. I'm shaking me. Zaga boom 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 za. Yeah. Wama kume muno.
Nimeni tatu.
Right.
Hstv, inspiring wellness.